The top 10 most expensive cars in the Transformers movies. Cars have always played a critical role in movies, and in most cases they make those movies instant classics. And while most of those car flicks are like Ford vs Ferrari or Fast and the Furious, the Transformers franchise takes a fun spin on things. Obviously, in the Transformers movies, cars can transform themselves into cool robots. As such, not only do the Transformers need to be cool, but so do their alt modes. But those looks come at a good price, a huge one at that. We're talking millions of dollars that the average TF fan would never see even if they lived 3 times over.
No, Dad! Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, I am. You're not getting a Porsche.
Anyways guys, before we dive into the topic at hand, I want to ask you to give this video a big thumbs up. Yeah, I know it's a bit annoying getting this at the very beginning of the video before you've watched it in its entirety, but YouTube's algorithm sort of encourages it. So if you rock with your boy and you know I'm gonna bring you that awesome content, then smash that like button. And if by any chance you hate this video and feel like you wasted 20 minutes of your time, then give this video a big fat dislike. Just rate the video. But does anybody think it's crazy that these characters always manage to select the most expensive cars on the vehicle market? I mean, if we're looking at things from an in-universe perspective, it could easily be explained that the autonomous organisms needed to scan up Earth's most used form of transportation to increase their chances of survival. But that's not how things work in the real world. Those sexy and sleek machines aren't gonna appear out of thin air. They're gonna cost you a pretty penny. Thankfully, the Transformers films have some of the biggest automakers in the world lining up for a spot in these max-up box office films. And today we'll be ranking the robots who had the most expensive car forms. Starting things off light, we have the 2014 Chevy Corvette C7 Stingray. The vehicle was used as the Autobot Sniper Crosshair's alt mode. When Michael Bay and the designers thought of a cool character, they wanted him to come off as an arrogant hotshot who never misses his target, and he needed car parts that would complement his devil-may-care attitude. So they decided to go with the C7 Stingray. This speedy convertible was built with speed and maneuverability in mind. During the time of its release, it featured a more angular looking styling made from aluminum, which improved crash-worthiness, handling precision, and the convertible model's overall feeling of solidity. Under its hood, it boasts the 6.2-liter V8 engine, which allowed it to accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in an impressively quick 4.1 seconds. I consider it to be the brother of the 2009 Chevy Stingray concept used for Sideswipe, who couldn't make this list because it was a design exercise by Chevy and it would never see the light of day in vehicle stores. Thankfully, the 2014 C7 Stingray was up for grabs on the market though. If you wanted to score the Green Assassin's alt mode, it would run you $60,000. Coming in at number 9 is the 2014 Camaro concept. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of G1 fans out there that detest the existence of the Chevrolet Camaro, especially when they hear a kid yell, "Hey look, it's Bumblebee," when it passes by. But hey, this vehicle breathed new life into the little Autobot Scout and made him a force to be reckoned with, and Michael Bay made it a point to keep that robot synonymous with that particular line of cars. Anytime a Transformers sequel rolled around, you could bet your tailpipe B would be fitted with the latest model at the time of the film's release, which would be the case when he appeared in 2014's Age of Extinction. Since B saw himself pitted up against another bot who was based on his own design and said to be better than him in every way, he has to look towards the future and adopt a look that would keep him ahead of his KSI competition. So he scans the 2014 Camaro concept. This bad boy ditched the usual design philosophy of his predecessors by opting for a more sleek look. Instead of using the circular lights, it goes for angular LED lights, and the front grille looks even smaller than the stock cars. The mirrors are smaller, the rear quartet windows have been blacked out, and there's a new spoiler out back. Although it was technically never sold on the market, a similar vehicle, that being the Camaro Z28, was sold for $74,000. For number 8, we have the 2008 Audi R8. You may have noticed that this particular brand of cars has become synonymous with movie franchises like the MCU, but before that it was the Bayformers. When Audi was looking to win screen time for one of its cars in the summer films of 2009, they landed upon Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. So they talked the studio into finding a role for the Audi, which ultimately went to the character Sideways, making him the only Transformer in the movie whose alt mode wasn't manufactured by General Motors. The design of Sideways' vehicle mode appeared to be based off of an Audi R8 turned by APR. Everything from the car's engine to the paint job was upgraded upgraded by APR, and they made it a point to let the audience know who tweaked it by featuring their logo on the side. Had he not been sliced in two, Sideswipe could have been purchased for $115,000. Pulling up at number 7 is the 2015 Western Star 5700 truck. Since the Autobots were running out of things to fight, they eventually found themselves going up against the very same fleshlings they once protected. And unfortunately, Optimus Prime wasn't necessarily up to par to deal with any hostile Terrans. In the first 3 movies, his Earth-based disguise was a Peterbilt semi-truck, but in Age of Extinction, he took to hiding as a slicker red and blue Western Star 5700. And who could blame the guy? Not only was that a much newer vehicle, but it was quickly becoming the go-to for heavy convoys. It has the towing capacity you'd expect the alien robot general would want to carry troops into battle. If you ever wanted to drive Robo-Jesus around, it would cost you $150,000 to purchase. Coming in at number 6 is the Oshkosh Defense Medium Tactical Vehicle. It's no secret that Michael Bay has the hots for military-based vehicles. He goes out of his way to plaster them in every project that he can. When it comes to his Transformers films, he came up with the idea of making the Decepticons utilize these vehicle forms while the Autobots merely use regular cars, and that formula stayed intact for 3 films. But it all changed once Transformers Age of Extinction rolled around. Since Hound was a more robust bot who was covered to the gills in weapons, he needed a place to fit all of that hardware. That's why it was only right that he select the Oshkosh Defense Medium Tactical Vehicle. The all-terrain medium tactical vehicle can be outfitted for a wide variety of missions, including serving as a platform for the High Mobility Artillery Rocket System. According to AeroWeb, the truck can cost anywhere between $100,000 to $380,000 depending on configuration. Number 5. The Ferrari 458 Italia. If you haven't noticed it by now, these characters are basically just put there for the sake of vehicle promotions. Our boy Mirage, or should I say Dino, was just put there because Michael Bay wanted that sexy Ferrari bot to steal the show in TF3. And this would turn out to be a marketing headache for the studio. Since Hasbro's greatest competitor Mattel had an exclusive license for Ferrari toys, Ferrari didn't want their product placement sporting the name of a Hasbro Toys trademark. Because of this, Paramount and Hasbro had to bend over backwards and rename Mirage after the son of the founder of Ferrari, i.e. Dino. At the time of its launch in 2009, the 458 Italia offered a generational leap in performance and technology over its F430 predecessor. One of the 458's most notable new features was its 7-speed dual-clutch transmission, but the electrical components caused a few models to catch fire. If you wanted to recreate the awesome high-speed chase sequence from Dark of the Moon in this car, you would have to pay a hefty $240,000. Dropping in at number 4 is the 2011 Mercedes SLS AMG. As you know, humans can be just as bad as the Decepticons in these films. In some cases, they work alongside the evil Cybertronians to achieve a common goal.
On this planet we have a saying, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
And that was the case for Dylan Gold in Soundwave. For doing such a great job as his secretary, Dylan gifted Carly Spencer a brand new Mercedes SLS AMG, but unbeknownst to her, it was Soundwave in disguise. While this vehicle was used to secretly keep a low profile, its design absolutely screams the opposite. It absolutely demands your attention. It's a super sports car that looks like it could have come from the future. The most distinctive aspect of the SLS's appearance, of course, is the roof hinge gull wing doors. Whoever jumps out of these bad boys is bound to turn some heads and be assumed to be some high profile celebrity. If you want to roll around like a boss in this sexy supercar, it will cost you $275,000. Targeting the 3rd spot is the 2014 Lamborghini Aventador. This particular vehicle never really fit the robot it was selected for, in my opinion. When I think of Lockdown, I think of Mad Max meets Transformers, because his vehicle form always looked like he was built tough for survival purposes. But instead of getting that tough exterior, Michael Bay went another route and decided to give him the Lamborghini Aventador as his alt mode. Which I guess if you want to come up with an in-universe reason why, you could argue that he got it after he formed an alliance with Cemetery Wind and KSI. But the car is just too sexy for a rugged bot with the name Lockdown, man. But anyways, the Lamborghini Aventador has been one of the world's most desirable high-performance driving machines. The thrilling design is matched only by the car's otherworldly performance. It has a 691 horsepower V12 engine and a all-wheel drive. Its engine and passenger compartments are wrapped in aluminum and carbon fiber bodywork that's straight out of a science fiction fantasy, which is why it was most likely chosen to be in a Transformers film. If you're looking to hunt down any bounties in this bad boy, be ready to spend $400,000. Coming in at number 2 is the Pagani Huayra. When KSI jumped into the business of producing their own Transformers, they wanted to make a statement. We don't need your trashy robots when we know we can make better. So they got on it by creating Stinger, a KSI drone who's based after the face of the live action franchise, Bumblebee. Because what better way to show our thanks for you saving our lives time and time again than to literally crap on your existence and act like you're yesterday's model.
We can make you now. Don't you get it? We don't need you anymore.
That was cruel.
And they would do so by giving this new robot one of the most expensive vehicle modes, the Pagani Huayra. This car has a Mercedes-AMG V12 engine with twin turbochargers, 7-speed automated manual transmission, front and rear independent suspension with double wishbones and fully adjustable coilover shocks, and 4-wheel carbon ceramic brakes. The wheelbase is 110 inches. Its engine is capable of producing 720 horsepower and an incredible 1,000 Newton meters of torque. Just listen to her purr. If you ever want to ride in style, this advanced piece of high-speed technology will run you a whopping $1.4 million. Topping things off at number 1 is the 2013 Bugatti Grand Sport Vitesse. Man, these movies really spared no expense when it comes to fitting these giant robots with sleek vehicle components. That was made crystal clear with Transformers Age of Extinction, which in my opinion has the most expensive roster of fancy cars. And if they were going to give arguably their coolest whip to a robot, it would have to be one who was deserving of it, which is where Drift comes in. This character's robot mode just looks extremely awesome. It really doesn't matter what alt mode you give him, he'll just make it look even sick regardless. But the Bugatti Grand Sport Vitesse just gave my guy Swag a major boost. This sick puppy has an 8.0 liter W16 quad turbocharged engine that got about 1200 HP and 1100 pound-feet of torque, which allows it to accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 2.6 seconds. It can also hit a top speed of 254 miles per hour, making it the world's fastest open-top supercar in 2013. Originally, Michael Bay wanted a black and orange color scheme, but had to go with a black and aqua blue one instead since the original version they sought after was already sold, and only a few dozens of these cars were even created. According to Mark Wahlberg, the car was so expensive they barely even wanted to touch it, saying, and I quote, "That's like a 600,000 carbon fiber paint job on it." It also didn't help matters that for the movie they had to film in a rocky quarry, and as a result a lot of rocks ended up touching the Bugatti. And it's totally understandable because they were protecting a vehicle worth $2.5 million. Although the car would never be seen again after Age of Extinction, it still left a lasting impression. The fact that it made it to many people's posters says a lot about how special its legendary status in the Transformers history was. And that's where we're going to end this video. I hope you enjoyed this top 10 list because I had a blast making it. If there are any vehicles that you think deserve to be on the list, comment it down in the comment section below. As always, I ask you like or dislike the video. It doesn't have to be a thumbs up, you can give me a thumbs down if you want. But if you really enjoyed the video, I appreciate it if you shared it with all your friends and followers on all the different social media outlets. Sharing really makes a difference. But once again, this is your boy RBG signing out on another video. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.